Mystery Seekers Adventure Series, Episode 8, The Lost Treasure of HMS DeBraak. Welcome back, Mystery Seekers. Today's location, type in Cape Henlopen State Park, Lewes, Delaware. What if I told you that one of America's greatest treasure hunts may have been chasing treasure that never existed? A British warship sank beneath the Atlantic Ocean. For nearly 200 years, its secrets remained hidden. Then treasure hunters found the wreck and believed they were about to become rich. But what happened next created one of the biggest treasure mysteries on the East Coast. Let's dive into the mystery of HMS DeBraak. Our story begins in the late 1700s. The world was very different. The British Empire controlled vast territories across the globe. Its powerful navy protected trade routes and carried valuable cargo between continents. One of those ships was the HMS DeBraak. Originally built in the Netherlands, the vessel was later captured and put into service by the British Royal Navy. The ship was fast, heavily armed, and designed for military missions. In 1798, DeBraak sailed along the Delaware coast, but it would never complete its journey. On May 25, 1798, HMS DeBraak encountered severe weather near Cape Henlopen. Powerful winds battered the ship. Massive waves crashed across the deck. Crew members fought desperately to maintain control. Then, disaster struck. The vessel rolled over and sank. Many sailors lost their lives. The ship vanished beneath the waters of Delaware Bay, and with it disappeared whatever cargo might have been on board. For generations, the wreck remained lost, but rumors began to spread. What if the ship had been carrying treasure, gold, silver, jewels, government funds? Nobody knew for sure, and that's where the mystery began. As decades passed, stories about DeBraak grew larger. Some believed the ship carried enormous wealth. Others claimed it transported military payroll funds. Treasure hunters became obsessed with finding the wreck. After all, if a ship carrying gold had sunk in 1798, the treasure could still be there, waiting to be discovered. For nearly 2 centuries, people searched. Technology improved. Maps were studied. Divers explored the waters. Then, in the 1980s, a breakthrough finally came. The wreck of HMS DeBraak had been found. Excitement exploded. Everyone expected treasure. News spread quickly. Treasure hunters believed they had located one of the most valuable shipwrecks in American waters. Investors poured money into the project. Media outlets covered the story. Divers began recovering artifacts from the wreck. People imagined chests overflowing with gold coins, rare jewels, silver bars, hidden riches worth millions. The anticipation was enormous. This was supposed to be the treasure discovery of the century. But then something unexpected happened. The treasure never appeared. Divers recovered many fascinating objects: weapons, personal belongings, pieces of the ship, historical artifacts. But the legendary treasure hunters had dreamed about? Nothing. No massive gold cache, no hidden fortune, no legendary riches. In fact, historical investigations later suggested the rumored treasure may never have existed at all. Imagine spending years searching for buried treasure only to discover the treasure might have been a myth from the beginning. The mystery became even bigger. If there was no treasure, why had so many people believed there was? As the recovery operation continued, concerns began to grow. Archaeologists worried that treasure hunters were focusing on potential riches rather than preserving history. Parts of the wreck were disturbed. Artifacts were removed. Important historical information risked being lost forever. The wreck itself began suffering damage. What started as a treasure hunt became a debate about protecting history. Who should control shipwrecks? Treasure hunters, private companies, or the public? The controversy grew. Eventually, the state of Delaware became heavily involved. Officials worked to recover and preserve what remained of the wreck. Rather than focusing on treasure, they focused on history. Over time, approximately 20,000 artifacts were recovered from HMS DeBraak. These artifacts helped researchers better understand life aboard an 18th century warship. While treasure hunters didn't find mountains of gold, historians discovered something equally valuable: knowledge. Every artifact told part of the ship's story. Every recovered object revealed another piece of the past. Today, the story of HMS DeBraak continues to live on through the thousands of artifacts recovered from the wreck. After Delaware stepped in to protect the site, approximately 20,000 artifacts were preserved. These artifacts include weapons, navigational tools, personal belongings, ship equipment, coins, ceramics, and countless other pieces of 18th century life. Many of the recovered artifacts are now cared for by the state of Delaware and are housed within the collections of the Delaware Division of Historical and Cultural Affairs. Mystery Seeker Fast Facts. Location: Cape Henlopen, Delaware. Ship: HMS DeBraak. Sunk: May 25, 1798. Cause: capsized during a storm. Expected treasure: gold, silver, and valuable cargo. Treasure found: no major treasure was ever discovered. Artifacts recovered: approximately 20,000. Mystery rating: 9 out of 10. Historical importance rating: 10 out of 10. If you ever visit Lewes, Delaware, you can still stand near the waters where HMS DeBraak disappeared beneath the waves more than 225 years ago. And just a few minutes away at the Zwannendale Museum, you can see pieces of the ship's story preserved for future generations. The gold may never have been found, but the mystery remains. And sometimes, the greatest treasure isn't what was lost, it's what survives. Follow Mystery Seekers for more hidden mysteries, forgotten history, and amazing adventures. And download the Mystery Seekers app to begin your next adventure.